It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Buzz, buzz, babies. We are back for episode 17 of Blake's Buzz Live. We have done this for 17 weeks with a couple of breaks. It's why is this happening? I don't know, but I'm glad it is. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Guests, thank you for showing up. I appreciate everybody, and I'm so stoked tonight. Very rarely do I have a theme, like a cohesive theme, and tonight it's all fantasy all the time. We are talking about genre comic books, fantasy in particular. I've got the creative teams for A.Guardian and Ruination in the house, and ladies and gentlemen, and anybody else who's tuning in, these are two of my favorite fantasy comics right now. It shocks me and pisses me off that they don't have a publisher, but I'm glad they found crowdfunding to get their comics out there. But it's crazy that the talent here tonight, it shocks me that a publisher hasn't snagged up both your guys' books. Like, seriously, fucking mind-boggling. I'm gonna quit gushing. We're gonna go around the room and introduce everybody real quick, and then we're just gonna hit the ground running and nerd out, because we're here to get lit and talk nerd shit, or at least I'm 3/4 lit. I don't know about you guys, but I found a bottle of gin in the cabinet and had a couple
little glass of whiskey. Just
there we go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna go in the order. No one paid me for first introduction privileges or anything. First up is Kay. Kay Baird told me that everybody, her camera's not working, but also she didn't want to look at any of us. So that's what she said in the green room. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Kay, how you doing tonight? How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, my cat bit my webcam and now it just doesn't work. So. Oh
no! I always see there's that awesome like TikTok video, like when they show like cat stuff, the cat that bites the corner of the monitor and the whole computer shorts out. Like,
yeah.
I love that shit. Oh, it gets me every time.
Was that Pumpkin, Kay?
It was Pumpkin.
How many cats are there?
I have two. I have Pumpkin and I have Peach, but we call her Poot. She's the one that's my lovely icon, because that's how I feel most of the time.
Her name is Peach, but you call her Poot.
Yes.
I like that. I call my dog. Well, I call my dog, my new puppy, Bruce. I'm pretty sure he thinks his name is Bruce No. So when we call him Bruce, he gets confused because it's too many times. It's like, Bruce, no, Bruce, stop it, Bruce, quit. He's a fucking train wreck. I love him though. He's awesome. Anyway, Kay, I'm super stoked to have you on. Your art is absolutely astounding and just impresses the crap out of me. Like I can't even explain how good your art is. It's people should be jealous of you. I'm sure they are jealous of you. I'm jealous of you. I wish I could draw. If I could draw, I would do a whole bunch of cool shit, but I can't. All I can do is run my mouth. So I started podcasting.
It's never too late to start drawing, but
you know what's funny?
So much.
No, you're welcome. But that's an interesting thing, because I always thought, you can learn to write, you can learn to do a lot of stuff, but some people are naturally gifted. Like you have that natural spark inside of you that you have to like release it in creative ways. And I actually always thought drawing and like artistry was that, like, and it kind of shocked me to learn that like some of the amazing artists that I adore, that I follow, that like if their name's on a book, I'm going to buy it. Like they taught themselves a lot too, or went to school, and like practice really does make perfect. So it's one of those skills that I never thought that, I thought it had to be like inside of you already, and you just like flourished it and let it breathe and let it out. But you really can like teach yourself and get better.
Yeah, I see some people that are like, they're like, oh, I'm in my mid-20s and I always wanted to learn how to draw, and they just like in a few years with some dedicated practice, they're making some amazing stuff. So it's like, if you want to, you can always start learning, and you kind of, if you start late, your wrist starts hurting a lot later, which is nice. If you've been doing it forever, the wrist pain starts when you're like 20 and you're like, oh god.
Oh, do you wear one of those deals, like the brace when you draw? I see some people wearing those. And now is that Easton's fault, because he makes you just like He puts you through the fucking ringer.
It is definitely it's college's fault.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, Kay,
we
sorry.
also Kay did say, hey, for volume 2, can we limit the 10 to 12 panel pages? And I said, we absolutely can cut down on those. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, it's I'm super excited. We got some people joining in the chat. So I have rearranged my desk. You guys can't see it, but so every week for the last 16 plus weeks of doing this, my microphone has been right in front of the chat for our listeners, and I'm notorious for ignoring the chat for people tuning in. And so I rearranged my desk to so I can see the chat. So we can actually Paperback Dan is in the house. Thanks for tuning in. And you can tell he's watched the show before because he already knows that I'm gonna ignore the chat half the time because I forget it's going on. Fucking David Hazan, fucking Nottingham Scribe is in the house. Always, what's up, baby? Love you. Love your show. Love your books. Thanks to you, everybody, for tuning in. Kay, thank you for swinging by. Super appreciate you. I'm so glad we can make this happen. As we'll go on later, I'm going to talk about how much I love both of these comics tonight and the artists for both of them. I mean, I love the scripts. I love the writing. I think Ryan and Eastin are great. Great wordsmiths, but the comics are special because of the artists they've found and the colorists, and I'm stoked to talk about how you all build each other up. So yeah, this is the problem. You guys are going to realize this. The intros for my show last about 25 minutes because I slowly ask everybody their names and then spiral into craziness because that's what I do. Up next is Ryan Biss, not Ryan Biz, as we talked about in the green room. Would be cool if his last name was Biz because we could do some fun wordplay. Ryan, I've tried. I've for a long time I've loved Ryan's book. Ryan was one of the early Kickstarter reviews I got. Reached out to me when I was but a new blogger and didn't even think about going live or talking into a microphone yet, and reached out with an amazing comic that just fucking rocked my socks right off. Issue 1 was just gorgeous. Cover was great. Interiors were great. Lettering was great. It was a very, very polished comic book, and it felt like something you would buy at the stores on the shelves of a shop on Wednesday. And I was very shocked that it was I was still new to crowdfunding, right? So there were some things that some crowdfunding stuff doesn't look as polished as a direct market comic, which is changing. This is coming from year and a half ago, Blake, but that's changing now. Kickstarter comics are Kickstarter, crowdfunder, Zoop, all these new comics. They're just as polished. They're just as there's just as much love in them as the direct market. It's just a different way of getting your story out. But anyways, what's up? If not better, yeah. Well, actually, they usually are better, right? Because you get better cardstock cover, you get better page weight. You get solid shipping typically. They ship to you they're all packaged and bagged and boarded and sent in Gemini mailers and ready to go. As long as you get a fucking bookmark, I can never get enough bookmarks, guys. And I will use anything. I'll use anything for a bookmark. I'll use a playing card as a bookmark. I'll use I love that we're getting pogs now, Kickstarter pogs. Give me a fucking break. Let's do it. Let's party. I'll use a pog as a bookmark. Anyways, Ryan, I finally got you on my show. What's up, motherfucker? I'm so happy to have you here. How you doing?
Good. This is 6 months in the making, I think.
Yeah, we've been trying. We were gonna do it a while back, and he got sick, and then
you got sick,
and then I was sick for a month. I thought I had COVID, and I didn't. And then all this other shit started happening. I went to urgent care, and they were like, "Who's your doctor?" And I was like, "I don't have a doctor." And they're like, "What the fuck, idiot? You need a doctor." And I was like, "What the leave me alone. I'm just give me fucking meds and get me out of here." But yeah, so no one's sick now except in the head. I'm kind of broken there, but we don't need to talk about that right now. But we're healthy, we're happy, we're here to talk comics. And Ryan, your first arc is wrapping up, man. the 6th issue on Kickstarter, and you have a bonus issue. We have a bonus one shot now with Elizabeth, and that's like, I can't wait to talk about that because I'm really excited to hear like how that even came to be. But I'm just so happy to have you on here. Like Ryan, you have been like we talk a lot online, but you've been like a big part of my life, and you've literally helped my family out, and you're just like, you're fucking kind and wonderful and super talented, and I'm so glad you for some reason noticed me and wanted me to review your comic, because that's where this started, and your Curious label, like I'm excited to talk to you, and I know you have other stuff in the works, and I'm just really happy you're here, man. I'm fanboying a little bit, like I'm getting nervous. You got me nervous, man. You're asking me to dance, and I don't know how to dance that well. I'm sorry. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, and we're always thankful for all your support, not just for our books, but for all of our books and all of indie, because I don't think any of us could do any of what we do without you and people like you who keep pumping us up, because it's tough when you put all this effort into something and you just get crickets back for quite a while, and to actually hear people like you pumping us up, sharing our books, and it's awesome.
Well, that's good. I'm glad I do something right. Like I wish I could get my mom in here right now, because she would hear that. Not a fucking failure, Mom. Anyway, sorry, just kidding. No, it's just a joke. It's a joke. I have a happy family life. It's fine. No, anyways, Ryan, thank you for coming. Super stoked to have you on. Super stoked to talk Ruination. I think everybody knows both of these comics tonight. I've been very vocal on Twitter about my love and adoration for the creatives and people involved with both of these comics. And there's a new person involved with Ruination, and her name is Sarah Fletcher. And Sarah, I'm super excited to talk to you tonight. I got to read issue 5, and it's very pretty. Like, it's very, very like, okay. And here's the deal. I reread everything, right? So like going from 1 to 4 and reading 5, it's not jarring, like, at all. Like you really nail the vibe. I think a lot of that is Kaytee. I think Kaytee helps with the colors and stuff too, right? But like,
she does all of them.
But I mean, I like your style. There's a lot of action in 5, and you do action really well. And there's also a lot of necessary facial expressions that really need to land. And I'm always impressed with that, because like human beings and any beings are emotive, right? And action is great, and action looks wonderful on the page, but sometimes you got to hit us with the feels, and you're able to do both. And artists that can do that really impress me, because sometimes I feel like some artists are like, man, these action scenes really flew off the page, right? Or man, this like really sad, intense, emotional scene like really hit me, and like everybody's eyes like made me cry. But you're able to kind of mix those waters, right? And you just kind of like take what these scripts are giving you, and you really make them ripple out into realness. And I really dig your art, and I'm really glad. I don't know how we're going to talk about this later, but I'm really glad you and Ryan and the team hooked up, because I think I know there was like deadline stuff, and people were worried, and and I'm sure you as like an artist joining a group that's 4 issues deep, I'm sure that's just like, you're like, oh cool, I'm the new kid, I'll just try, I guess, like, please like me.
Yep.
Well, anyway, I'm super stoked to have you on the show, Sarah, and after gushing, like I know I'm a verbose person, so I'm going to say a lot, but I'm happy to have you, and I'm happy to have you on Blake's Buzz, and I'm also happy to have you in Ruination as a fan of Ruination. Like, you feel your style feels very at home, and I'm very excited to read issue 6, which is the end of the first arc. And anyway, I just your artwork impressed me, I guess. Is what as a long story short, like you draw some pretty pictures, Sarah, and we're just happy to have you. And thank you for coming on my show. I'm sure glad
Happy
to
to be here.
Awesome. Are you where are you like? I always forget to ask people this, like, because sometimes I forget, and like some people are like, yeah, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I live overseas, and like, fuck you for having your show at 9 p.m. And like, are you a local, or are you a faraway person? Like,
I'm on East Coast. I'm in Maine.
oh, okay. So yeah, you're on like another planet. No.
Yeah. Siberia.
I'm a Midwestern boy. I don't know what that place is about. No. That's cool. So yeah, but yeah, we'll talk about it more, Sarah. But I just want you to know that like you nailed issue 5, and I have no doubts that issue 6 is going to be just as pretty and awesome. And the stakes are even higher. So like, I feel like issue 5 is like a little taste of what Fletcher can bring, right? And then like I feel like issue 6, I feel like some shit's gonna go down in issue 6. I wish we could talk more about it. I don't want to spoil anything for like potential listeners and potential buyers, but I just I'm a big fan of Ruination. They made I don't remember what number it was, but they were on my top 12 of 2021 of last year. And it's one of my favorite comics. And Ryan made me feel really important, because he told me, he like DM'd me, he was like, dude, I gotta find a new artist. Like we got a conflict in scheduling. And I was like, what? No. And I was like, no, like I was like, that's crazy. And he actually sent me samples, and he was like, we're looking at these people, and I'm still new. Like, not many people send me are like, hey Blake, I have a really big question. Like, you're not really involved in this book other than I know you like it, but like I'm thinking about bringing on a new artist, and like, what do you think of these pages? And I was like, what? Like, you give a shit what I think? Oh, like, whoa. And he showed me some pictures, and I saw this was before Kaytee's colors. So like I just saw line work, and I was like, hey, like, I was like, this looks pretty good. And he was like, that's kind of what we're thinking. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, the whole time I was just like, I can't believe this is my life. Like, people are like, it's like sending me fucking sneak shit that I haven't even got to see yet, and asking me like my opinion on artists. But anyway, so yeah, like, basically Sarah's like, is I vetted you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it sounds like I owe you some thanks.
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna say I got you the job. No, I'm kidding. He was basically, Ryan was basically already decided. He was like, this is the one we're looking at, and I was like, yeah, you're looking at the right one. So, anyways, I'm just I'm glad you're on the book, and I'm excited to see more of what you bring to the table, and it's solid. Like, the pages are great, and the action's great, and the emotions are great, and it doesn't feel like a new book. It doesn't feel weird. You just kind of like, slid in there and hit all the right notes. Like, good for you.
Glad to hear it, because it was hard to come in as such like a emotional, action-packed issue with like a book that already had a following and stuff. So
yeah, there's a lot going on in 5 and 6. Like that's no like small task of like what you got dropped into. Was it I'm gonna go back to that question later once we actually like hit the books. I forget, like, we're already at 20 minutes and we haven't even introduced everybody yet. Next up, Eastin DeVerna has already been on my show once, so he knows what kind of clusterfuck he's getting into already. I love this man. I love this man so much. He makes amazing comics, and have you guys seen his garden? He has like a fucking farmer's market in his backyard. It's ridiculous. He posted blueberries tonight that were as big as my fucking giant head. Like, these, I would just kill. First, I've told him numerous times, like, I want some of his tomatoes to make some BLTs. But now, like, fuck the tomatoes, man. I want some of these giant blueberries. I like to cook, and I recently learned how to make pretty solid blueberry muffins. And I want some of these I want some of these giant Eastin blueberries to just make some blueberry muffins. Like, that's all.
I just need to figure out a way to like pack a cooler with like dry ice and just send it to you with like.
There's got to be a way. Yeah, there's.
I think I can figure that out.
Yeah, you and your family, obviously, like you know, you guys get the first picks, you know, but like the stragglers, you know, like I'll take that. Anyway, I'm super pumped. I actually slid into his Twitter Spaces last night and bothered them last night when they were doing their Twitter Spaces.
The most epic outro when we were finished. It was I'm glad you came
which was funny because I was listening. Right. So I didn't even really mean to request to speak. I was playing on Twitter while I was listening and I hit the mic button and then I hit it again. I was like, oh no, this isn't my show. I don't want to bother these guys. And then like, I was like playing on Twitter and then I was like, I got up to get something to drink and my phone, I'm listening to you guys talk. And then I hear you you're like, Blake, you there? And I was like filling up my water and I was like, hold on. Like, I'm like yelling and you can't even hear me. I'm like, I'll be there in a second. And then I'm like, oh, you can't hear me. And then like, I come running over and like hit the mic button and I was like, oh, hey, what's up guys? But yeah, like, it was super fun to talk to them last night and hop in. Twitter Spaces is so interesting. The aggravating part is when Eastin and Marcus with Dauntless Stories, we did a Twitter Space, but they didn't have the record option when we did it. And now you can record it and release it. So I wish you guys could have seen the clusterfuck. First of all, I'm hammered. And I'm like drunk on Twitter Space. And I set up my mic and like had my phone on a stand and the mic is like next to my phone and I'm trying to record it. And it made like a sound wave, right? So I thought it worked. And then when I listened to it later, the volume was so faint. And when I cranked it up real high, it sounded like shit. And I was like, so it was aggravating, but I tried really hard to record it. And of course now, you know, like you can just naturally record Twitter Spaces, which is smart, but, you guys had a good turnout last night and you put some eyes on some new campaigns and that was fun. Like, I thought that was really cool what you guys did.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was just messaging with Jeremiah, who's doing Hallowed North, and we were just chatting a little bit. We were like, yeah, you know, like it's, you know, anytime you run a Kickstarter, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of stress. And we were like, let's just hang out and like have a drink and just chat, you know, and that's kind of what it was. And it was good. It was a nice way to unwind, connect with some other creators and you know, some readers and things like that. So it was good. You know, it's something that I needed. To unwind with.
I bet you do, because like Eastin has been, is it 4 campaigns now? Like back to back to back to back?
Yeah, something like
it's either 3 or 4. He's a fucking he might be a robot, ladies and gentlemen. If he's a robot, he's a good looking robot. I'll tell you that. Like he's a mace swinging, Kickstarter writing, crazy motherfucker, this guy. And he's also a dad and a good dad because he hangs out with his kid a lot. He seems to have like a very happy home life and like, man, you're a hardworking dude and you have this giant fucking garden. Like,
I was trying to get
time for this shit.
Strawberries. I mean, the blueberries with me this afternoon, but he just wanted to play with the water balloons. I was like, come on, look at this bush. We have so many ripe ones to pick. Throw them in your little turtle strainer. And she was like, nah, I'm going to play with the water balloons. You go pick them, Dad.
I know what that's like. I remember like when I was young and my dad would like try and make like me helping do something in a game. And I was like, you can't fool me. This is manual labor. Like, this is like, get out of here, Dad. No. But no, I really appreciate you coming back on the show. Super stoked to always stoked to talk to you. I mean, we talk sometimes just online without being on a show, but I just
it's always a pleasure, man. Love chatting with you. Thanks, and just coming on. It's like, thank you so much.
Yeah, and also like I'm just super like I can't believe, like, we'll talk more about this, but like I know like A.Guardian Volume 1 like blew my mind. So Kay was the first one who showed up in the chat, and I had to like make it awkward, right? And I was like, hey Kay, what's up? Like, I love your fucking art. Oh my god, how do you do this? And like, I was like, whoa, like, wait, Blake, wait till the show starts. But I couldn't wait. And I just, A.Guardian like meant so much to me, and that was like one of my, you know, like I just started, and posted that review, and the review got circulated, and we still make that joke. Like I took that your main quote and misquoted it, and you reposted my misquote of your book, and that was like super embarrassing.
Like, that was so amazing because I'm like every time we chat, like it's a highlight of like our relationship. Like you were the first person to write a review for A.Guardian. Like the second you posted that, I like sent it to Kay. I was ecstatic. I was like, look, we got a review and it's glowing. Like somebody really liked this book that we've been working on for so long. And it's just always like Ryan was saying, it's just so fun to have and good and amazing. And we appreciate so much like your passion for it, because sometimes it is like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot of hard work. And then like finally when you see like someone who like really loves it, like, God, it feels good. And your enthusiasm and passion for indie comics in general is like so appreciated.
I know it's intoxicating. It's okay. I know. I just love fucking comics, guys. I love, and I've learned that like, if I kiss just enough ass, sometimes I get freaked. I'm like I make that joke. I'm like the elephant, not just because I'm a big dude, but like, elephants work for peanuts and Blake works for PDFs, basically. Like I will bust some ass for some solid like PDFs of comics, which is funny because like both of you guys have like sent me real comics, so that's you guys like up my peanut pay and then ruined it for everybody else. I was like, what? I can get real shit? Like, now like I have like this no, I'm just kidding. I have no expectations. I'm just always excited to talk to creatives, and you're all good people too. Like you treat your fans really well. You're really open to people online. And you're open to like help. Like I've seen both of you talk to like new Kickstarter people to talk about like shipping and promoing and things you guys do, and that's cool to me. Like I like that part of this community because regular comics. I'm mainly active on Twitter. That's where my main audience is. But like regular people get nasty and mean and bitter and weird, and Kickstarter. I feel like it's different because there's no competition and people come together and lift each other up and offer advice and read each other's works and then sometimes like other artists will do variant covers for another campaign or prints, right? Like the prints that get included in these campaigns, and you guys like bring these other artists in and like put eyes on it. It's so cool, and all of you do a really good job at that. So like kudos to all of you for just being not only talented people with great stories to tell, but kind. And the world, I don't know if you guys notice, it's hard out there right now. Like it gets a little intense, and a little bit of kindness goes a long way. And now last but not least, we got one more person to introduce. And Kaytee, Color and Kaytee, how you doing? How you doing? How's your night going?
So far, so good.
It's still early. We can fix it.
Pretty early in the night for me. Yeah.
So you are the colorist for Ruination, and you've worked as we talked about. Like you were working with Ryan when you guys were doing the new artist search. You guys were working pretty tight knit in that. How is it working with Ryan? Is he really nice, or is there a secret darkness to Ryan that we can like mention right now? Can we spill the beans?
No, honestly, it's awesome. He's got a really he's very collaborative, and he's all about letting us sort of flourish creatively. And so if we have any like cool ideas that kind of differ from what exactly is in the script, we can come to him with that, and he's always really open to it, which has been really, really fun. Get to come up with lots of new stuff and learn new techniques, and it's been great.
Now your colors, I'm just going to come out here and say this. There are a few pages of yours. It ends up looking like a Jen Bartel piece. Like you have like this really great, you have a really great palette, and combined with your artists, they I mean, that's the only thing I can really compare it to, because there's not a lot on the market right now. The neon hues and both like playing with the warm and the cool colors And you're really good. And you make, I love that your book involves like magic and portals and traveling, because that's what your color palette does, like, to the reader. Like, your palette is a portal that we travel through. The magic spells are just as entrancing to your audience as they are the characters on the page that they manipulate, right? Like, you're so fucking good at coloring, and you're one of coloring. So coloring isn't as bad as lettering, right? Because they say, like, it's really easy to notice lettering when it's bad as opposed to like when it's good. But I mean, I feel like a lot of times, like, the colorists don't get talked about as well, right? Because we mention like the main artist, and they're like, "Ooh, these pages," and there's like, well, there's like 3 or 4 other people that also worked on this page that sometimes don't get talked about. And I like your colors need to be talked about all day, because they're amazing. And again, like, part of, ever since issue 1 of Ruination, just like a Rio Barton cover, the interiors with the amazing colors and the lovely characters, and everything just feels so warm and alive and different. I guess since you're the last one, we'll just go ahead. We'll just start with Ruination. What made you want to hop on this project, Kaytee?
Well, I had done another project with Ryan before. He did an anthology kind of set in the same universe.
Oh yeah, you worked
Ruination,
on,
and I colored. Yeah. So
okay.
I colored. So I had worked with him. I knew how much fun it was to work with him, and how really magical his stories were. Which is like, that's the fun part for me, right? Is I get to like come up with all these cool magic effects for every new spell or magical character or portal or whatever. And so that was really what attracted me to the project, was just the opportunity to do all this new stuff and to be creative myself. Because you don't get a lot of opportunities to be creative as a colorist. Like, a lot of people are like, all right, you just color the things the way they're supposed to be and move on. So this project really lets me explore a little bit more, which is fun.
That's cool. And that's crazy too, because color, you control the emotional tone. I mean, even with like facial expressions and the way the artist draws eyes and, mouth shapes and all these various effects that like make us feel as audiences, right? But there's like, as a colorist, like you're the mood lighting. And that's a very simplified caveman way of putting it, I know, probably, and I don't want to offend anybody, but you do control the mood and you control the emotion, and it makes it that much more powerful. And so that's crazy to me like, if I ever made a comic, I wouldn't look at my colorist and be like, you do this way. And I would be like, well, first of all, I don't know shit about making comics. So if I ever make a comic, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to be like, here's the line. Like, can someone here's the dialogue. And like, can you guys make this dialogue look cool? And then I'll just sit over here and you tell me what to do next. That's how I would make a comic, probably.
It's very easy as the like writer, like person running the project, to, when you get the pages back, particularly with a colorist, to be like, no, I want you to use the colors or the palettes, or do it in the way that like I kind of prefer. And I think you tend to get blander projects like that sometimes. Like, you wouldn't know it, but like, if I were coloring a book just on my own with no input from anyone else, I would probably not color a single thing pink. But
there's a lot of pink in Ruination, though.
Yeah, and it's so much better for it. I think like we got a much liver, much more charismatic world, because what I tried to do was go to Kaytee and say, have at it, and I think the results are pretty amazing.
Yes, 100%. Cupcakes Comic Reviews is also on the Ruination hype train, thanks to me. It's definitely not thanks to the absurd amount of fucking talent in those pages. It's totally Blake's Buzz's fault. No, I'm just kidding. It's you guys. You guys are bringing in your own creatives. Johnny Fitz is in the house saying what's up to Eastin. Yes, we all love them. Fucking El Crudo's in the house, baby. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, pink is an underrated color. See, this is a new deal. I'm gonna pay attention to the chat now. We're gonna be a real live show. We're a real boy now. We're Pinocchioing our way out of the fucking clusterfuck into the real live stream world. That's what we're doing. But no, so yeah, Ruination. I guess what we'll do is I guess we just bring up the campaign page. That would probably be helpful here. Let's see. So, boom, here we go. With the power of technology. Here's a little snippet of Sarah's new color. But yeah, so issue 5 and 6. That's what we're live on. We're live on the campaign right now, and what we're going till now my microphone's in the way of this screen, so there's no way to win. We got 7 days to go. Is the final week. The final week of Ruination. And Eastin, you're at the last week too, right? Or almost?
Yeah, we're at like 6 days left, I think.
Yeah, we're down to the wire, baby. Yeah, Blake's Buzz is the final attempt. No, they're both these campaigns are both in good places. So yeah, words. Oh, look, pink. Here, this is the I'm so sorry. This was you can't see the whole page, but this whole page right here, they're healing someone, and it's really beautiful. And it just really reminded me of like Jen Bartel and Blackbird is what this sequence reminded me of, and it was very beautiful. Here's the whole reason I know about Rio Burton is from Ruination. Rio does some amazing covers, and they also now have like very awesome variant covers too. Like here's another one. I love this. Is the second time you've done this too, like the split that like the reflection
third
the third.
Yeah, so the artist is Anne Molina, and I think both Katie and I knew her from she does the Horizon Zero Dawn series for for one of the licensing publishers. And she's just a really cool artist. She was super great to work with. And yeah, she really nailed all those like reflection covers that she did.
Yeah, the duality in them is great. Also, there's Apollo the dog or the dire wolf. It's a dog. It's a great dog. It's a good dog. I love this Rio cover. I love Apollo. Like I can't. Any comic with a dog in it, like you just get me. Like
the other thing I do want to mention with these covers too, because we don't really give her credit for it, but what I started doing, I think around issue 4, was having Katie kind of art direct all the covers, because I don't have the right skill set to necessarily do that, but she's been working directly with all the cover artists on composition and layout and working a lot of these. So a lot of the credit for these, including those reflection covers, also goes to her in addition to the artists.
So do you like that, Katie, or are you just like, can you not give me all this extra work to do?
Yeah. No, it's actually no, it's really fun. It's I really enjoy that sort of like visual problem solving that comes with composing a cover and just coming up with like, where do things go and how do we like communicate what we want to communicate with this cover. And so it's been a really fun way to really refine my communication skills in a different area and maybe explore other parts of comics that I might want to get into someday.
Yeah, like I mean, you're approaching like a art director, art editor kind of job profile with this. You're one of the I can't even fucking talk anymore. I am tongue tied. This comic is so good. I can't talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. But you have like an upper role in art direction. You're not just a colorist. You're a great colorist, and your work is phenomenal. But if you have an eye for these variants, and eye to talk to these artists about like, how to portray, a variant cover is like a very interesting deal, because you kind of like want to say like, yeah, come on and do what you want, but you also want to say like, yeah, but also like do what you want, and like hit the vibe, hit the notes, like like get us ready on that cover page, and get ready for what's to come. Is that tricky, like, or because of what you do being an artist, or do you already have these kind of contacts and kind of know what to look for and have like people in mind already?
I think at this point we have a pretty solid roster of artists that we use for the variants. And we tend to like come up with ideas, like we'll go back and forth on like different concepts that we want to play around with. And then once we've solidified those concepts, we'll kind of pick out artists based off who we think is really gonna just take that and run. And I think we've picked pretty well so far.
Oh yeah.
All of the artists that we've thrown stuff at, they just like blow it out of the water every single time.
Oh yeah. Definitely. And again, like because of you guys, I'm a big fan of Rio now. And I just Rio had a really great variant for the new Galarian White Ash Galarian Kickstarter that's live right now. Not to take away from, you know, the stuff we're talking about tonight, but Rio's a great artist. This image right here, though, this is not a cover. This is a fucking mad scientist, amazing splash page by Sarah Fletcher.
And I want to point out that is this. It's probably the second page you did for us.
Yeah, I think it's around like page 2.
That's a big page. Like that's when I saw this, I was like, so I someday I should do like a live stream of me reading a comic I really like, because I talk to myself and say weird shit. And this, like, when I saw this, I was like, and I'm reading this on the tablet, right? So you're like, I'm reading it, and I'm like, fuck, like, you know, like this, like the slow-mo, the world stops, the planet stops spinning, everything comes to a halt, and all I know is this art right in front of my face, right? And Sarah, I saw this, and I was like, yep, like, Ruination continues to be in good hands. That this is for real. Like, oh my God, I love your art. And I hate this asshole. Like, I love him as like a villain, but God, he's an asshole. He just makes life harder for all my favorite people. Look at this. Look at these. And also, like, so Kaytee, you're the one doing the magical effects too, right? Is that, am I right there?
It depends on the effect. So for this page, we kind of talk it out. We play it by ear depending on the page. So like for this page, Sarah did, she gave me some lines for the shield and everything, but she kept them in a different layer so that I could just kind of go bananas on them with colors. Okay. And then like Mary's lightning effect, that's usually me. It depends on page by page. Talk it out.
But yeah, that was something I kind of learned over the course of Ruination. Like, I feel like when people explained how you make a comic book to me, a lot of it was kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just everyone's.
I don't know, man. You're the writer.
Sorry. Just kind of throwing things over the wall to the next person. Whereas we got into a good groove of, you know, always having the Facebook Messenger open and talking each of these pages as we got to them, so that, like, as Sarah's drawing them, she's asking Kaytee, like, hey, what do you need me to do so that you can achieve this? And are there better ways we can do this? Or like what like brainstorming, like, how can we do this a little bit better or cooler? Or and it works perfectly. And not only are the results better, but I think it just makes life a whole lot easier for the next person in the chain, because we're not going back and saying like, hey, can you redraw this, or can you tweak this, or like, hey, had to spend an extra 10 hours on this because you did this in a weird way, or you didn't put this in a separate layer or something like that.
I love that. I love that you guys have that open line of communication, especially with Sarah being new. Like, I'm sure that helps, you know, orient the new kid on the block to, and I feel like I don't know, the vibes I got from 5. I haven't got to read 6 yet, which is good, because I you know, part of this, I love getting to read stuff early, but I also like want to get it to read it, like, you know, like getting to read stuff early is cool sometimes, but then, you know, it's nice to like still have surprises. But I love this idea of like an open line of communication, and it sounds like, Sarah, like you were made part of the team pretty easily. Is that correct? And also feel free to throw anybody under the bus and talk about whatever you want.
No, I felt welcome right off the bat. So it's been nice, because I did have like a lot of uncertainty at first, but just sending quick messages to make sure I'm on the right track. It's always nice.
Yeah, I bet. So how does the that one shot cover how does recruiting a new artist, like I feel like that's stressful for everybody, the people already on the book, like Sarah would like how does it work? So like, like if you're auditioning, right, for a role, you have like a scene, right, and you read the scene, and the director or the the talents or whoever like listens to you, right, and is it kind of similar as an artist, like they give you a scene or a splash page, or like give us an idea of what you would do on this page, like how does that work, Sarah? What did they make you do to prove yourself and win them over?
Ryan gave me like a single page sample script to do. I don't think it's from an actual issue. Is that true? Yeah.
Yeah. It was just a very generic page with Kayla and Rachel walking through.
Then you showed me that.
Yeah. And then someone jumps out and attacks them. And it was just literally, we wanted to see you draw two characters that we particularly care about, that they look consistent,
okay,
and show them kind of stationary and then show action. And this was Kaytee's very good input as to we want to see that you can do both kind of like stationary and dynamic sequential panels. So that was like the thinking behind the page.
Okay. Shout out to Promiscuous Time Traveler. As always, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you, and I'm always forever jealous of your screen name because it's too cool. But yeah, Sarah, I'm so stoked that you're on this book now. I'm not gonna lie, when Ryan DM'd me and was like, "Oh man, we're having to look for a new artist," and I was like, "No!" I was like, "You can't break up the dream team. Like, what's gonna happen?" I was a little nervous, and I didn't tell Ryan that. I wasn't, because I was like, I bet if I'm slightly stressed, I bet Ryan's like chewing off his fucking fingernails over there. But like it was just, I was like, oh no, like that's a bummer. And I know, like, things happen and deadlines happen and scheduling conflicts occur. But like I said, rereading the first 4 issues and hopping into 5 doesn't feel different. You just fucking nailed it, like on every level. And it's like, how's it feel just to be a fucking mad boss like that? Because like you're just like killing it in every panel. Like that's got to feel pretty solid.
I don't know how to answer.
Well, no, I'm just, like I said, I'm happy to see you as part of the team. The emotional impacts still ring. As we can see, the action is glorious. This is just a small taste of the fight scenes we get in issue 5. And then this is a new deal, right? We're doing a bonus one shot. So if you guys back this campaign right now, if you're new, you can get the whole arc. You can like get 6 whole fucking issues of Ruination in your face, just smacking you around with awesomeness nonstop for 6 issues and a bonus one shot. What made you guys want to add the one shot with and I love Elizabeth's work, by the way. Like, Elizabeth is amazing and awesome. And look at this cover right here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, oh my god, the hand, like I just can't believe it. Like, but this is a little different. Like, you've done 2 at a time typically, and this time you added a one shot. What was the thought process on that?
I mean, like the main series has a very, very exact number of issues and the story that we want to tell, but there were always a couple of side stories that we wanted to do. And the thing is that with, like, these epic fantasy tales, they tend to be you tend not to get character specific a lot, because you're telling it, you've got a lot of characters to go back and forth between. And we just love some of these characters so much that like Kayla in particular is kind of like a favorite if you're just jumping into the story, and getting to tell something from her point of view and getting to see, like, like in the main series, you just see she is a very mature but very sarcastic person, and you can tell that there's stuff underlying that, and getting to see that in a separate story is just awesome. And then we also describe her as an assassin in the story, but we don't actually get to see we don't see her life as a fallen assassin. We're kind of seeing it after she turns traitor at that point. So getting to go back in time and see her in action, I think is pretty neat. And getting to do that, yeah. Finding Elizabeth was kind of a stroke of luck, because she just has a very unique, cool style. Like if you had just described it to me without seeing it, I would have been like, I don't know. But like, just when you actually see her work, it's pretty amazing. And like I was talking to Kaytee about it, and like what do you think about having this person for the one shot? And there were so many cool things that we could do with this story and with that art style, and it all really, really came together, I think. Wait,
have you guys? So I was muted. Have you guys ever disagreed? Because I feel like the Ruination family is really strong, and you all work really well together. That's the vibe I'm getting. And if that's not the case, and you all hate each other, you're hiding it really well. So kudos to that. But like, how does have you ever like crossed paths? Have you ever been like, no, maybe this isn't the best idea, or is this just the most fucking like organic coming together of nerds and fantasy genre goodness that's ever happened in sequential narrative storytelling? Like, can I say that? Is that allowed?
No, I mean, you guys can tell me if you think differently, but I think there are definitely times where we've disagreed. But I will tend to overrule people if there's a story or narrative concern, but if there's anything visual, I will usually let everyone else just kind of make a decision, because I know that that is not my specific skill set. It is technically, I'm the one kind of project managing this, so technically I can overrule people, but I don't like doing that unless I have a particular reason to. So I think on these last couple issues, everything has gone pretty smoothly. I don't think we've had anything where we truly disagreed on.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's good? I like that. The story feels. Oh no, you're good.
I think we all kind of take an attitude of like, Ryan is, boss. He writes the checks, so like if he overrules us on anything, fine. And then everybody kind of like we go back and forth on suggestions and stuff, but ultimately the person whose lane it is gets to sort of make that final decision, short of Ryan, obviously. And that's kind of been a really copacetic way of handling the dynamic.
Okay. Yeah, you see, I was really hoping one of you would be like, yeah, sometimes we got to put Ryan in his place. Like his head gets too big, and it turns into a balloon, and he starts to float off, and we got to grab him by the ankles and yank him back down to earth. And then, but no, like I said, the way the narrative feels, it feels like you're all a comfy family, and it feels like you're all can like sit down for brunch and drink too many mimosas, and even if someone says the wrong thing, it's still the right thing, right? Like you guys can still find goodness in that. I love that about comic books. I think that's the magic of it, right? Whereas it's not just one person. Sometimes it is, right? There are Jeff Lemire's and other people that can like draw and letter and do it all. But even then they have editors. So it's never really one person, right? But I think it's so cool when there's a line artist and a colorist and a writer and then you have to like get to know each other, right? And tell these stories that end up all being like very intimate and emotional. And that's why the scenes hit so hard as they do. And so it's very cool to like see that that culmination like come to fruition, right? And it's even crazier when when we bring a new artist in, like Sarah. You guys will notice this. I'll say we sometimes, like I'm part of your creative team, like I did part of it, but like when you bring in this new artist and then make them feel at home and make them feel comfortable and make them feel like they're just as important as when like Ruination 1 happened, and I think that's why you guys are making great comics.
The flip side to that too is I think it's also on everyone on the team to actually be engaged in the process, because like it's very easy to just come in and say, okay, I'm the line artist, I get a script, I'm going to draw what is literally on the script, nothing more, and leave it at that, and then I will just, if someone asks me to do something or change something, I'll do it. And we've been very fortunate that Sarah, Kaytee, and everyone, mostly everyone else that we've worked with has been super engaged. They read the entire script, they ask questions about things, and they actually get invested in the characters. Like, and I'll say this too, because we work with her so much, like Rio, super invested. Like I can tell she reads our scripts, she likes our stories, like that, and that is one of the reasons why we keep her as our main cover artist, is because she loves fantasy, she loves the genre, she likes what we're doing, and that just gets us so much better kind of work product from everyone. And it means that everyone is able to give me feedback and ways to, improve a scene or add something that is enhancing the story. It's not just me writing everything and saying everything that is on the page. I can give a very vague scene and say, these are the things that need to happen. And Sarah and Kaytee will usually layer in additional stuff that just enhances it so much more. And I think that is a large part of it and speaks volumes to the art team. It's not just the way that we work together, but it's people actually wanting to make a good book, as opposed to, showing up and doing what you're paid to do.
Yeah, that's like my day job. I just show up and get paid for what I need to do. There's no passion. I don't get to tell any stories. Kay, how do you feel about that? Is working for Eastin a magical, or working with Eastin? Sorry, is that the same kind of magical experience, or like is it traumatizing? Like, it's okay. Say what you want to say, Kay. No one's gonna. I'm scared. But like, is that do you guys have that same kind of deal? Because there's a lot that goes on into genre fiction. There's a genre fiction. It has to like mystify us, but it also has to anchor us into our own world, in our own humanness, in our own way of being, right? And I feel like that's tricky sometimes, especially when you're working with multiple people and everybody has a different idea of like what it is to exist in the everydayness of things. And so like when you guys work together, like how do you guys build your story? Because you have an equally wonderful, amazing story, and the pages are wonderful, and the art reflects the prose, and the prose reflects the art, and it's very balanced and beautiful. And like what's your guys' working relationship like? Like, is there a lot of communication? Are his scripts like overly tight? Because I know he likes to write. And he's a good writer, but like I just like, like, do you guys, what's it like working with you guys together?
Honestly, like when he approached me with A.Guardian, we didn't know each other at all. Like, he just saw my art and he liked it, and I liked his script, and so we started working on it. And we found out as we started collaborating that we're very, very similar people with very similar interests and really similar like preferences.
Okay.
And so honestly, like, he's not a very, like, his scripts are wonderful and they have a lot of insight into like how characters are feeling, and like, but he's very loose with scenes, and he's really open to ideas, and so it's very highly collaborative all the time of like bringing suggestions. We have a lot of brainstorming sessions where we kind of vibe and go back and forth with workshopping ideas and being like, oh, I just got this like cool idea, what if we did this? And it's really fluid and nice.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys have like a similar vibe as to like Eastin and Sean. It sounds like so Easton's just a nice writer to work with, I guess. Like,
absolutely.
not that I had any doubts. Like, I didn't really think he was like a secret asshole or anything. Like, I just know like he likes to write, and his characters like to speak, and I know that like sometimes that can be tricky to balance out, like, word bubble space with art and how to lay that out on the page, and there's so much emotion in A.Guardian, so I just like, I guess it's just as someone who hasn't made a comic book yet, maybe, hopefully, but to like work with someone like that and to produce that feeling on the page, and both comics tonight, ladies and gentlemen, A.Guardian and Ruination, there's so much feeling, and it's raw, and it's visceral, and it rolls you around, and it makes you laugh, and it makes you cry, and it makes you so invested into these stories, where it's more than a comic book. It's more than a reading experience. Like, you're there in it. You're experiencing this new world and this new history, and you're rooting for these characters that you've never met before, and you're excited to turn these pages, and you're excited for new issues and new volumes, and that's amazing to me, because it's easy, or it's not easy, but like, yes, you can draw a pretty picture, you can draw a great action scene, but to like really like organically invest your audiences into these magnificent tales you're telling, that's hard. And both of these teams tonight do this and make it look easy. But I feel like it's not necessarily easy, right? Like, you're like, thanks for saying that, Blake, but it's actually a lot of fucking work, and I didn't sleep for several days, and I was like hunched over a tablet with my wrist brace on, drawing this fucking scene, and like, I was crying, and the character was crying, and Eastin was just fucking picking blueberries in his garden. And I was like, no, but like, you guys are, all of you are so good at that, and like, how do you find these people to like work? Because not every creative team, it finds it so easy to work together. Like, I've heard stories, right? Like, it's
a lucky thing, I think, when you find people that you vibe with, and just, you're on the same wavelength. And you hit the nail on the head, Blake. I like to write. I'm a little bit of an overwriter, and Kay and I have been working together for a number of years now, and she's not afraid to tell me when, hey, Eastin, you got to cut this down a little bit. This is a little too much.
Nice. So she tells you when to shut up. That's awesome. I like Kay even more now.
Look, and Kay's an amazing storyteller, and at the point we are now with A.Guardian Volume 2, like Kay is she is storyteller, like on the credits. Like, we are working on this together. This is our story. It's not just me toiling away at a script. Like, yeah, I'm writing the script, but when it comes to life, like, she has her input. She has her character suggestions and scene suggestions, and some of the crazy things that you'll see in Volume 2 are Kay's ideas, and they're just phenomenal. And I don't know, like, every time we have those brainstorming sessions and she comes up with something, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait to see that on the page. Yes, we are doing that. We will get that in the script. We'll write it in somehow, or we'll adjust or whatever. It is like that. And to me, that's just like a lot of the fun, because comics is just a collaborative process. It's not just one person doing all the work. Comics would not exist if it were that way. I mean, yeah. I guess, like you said, like, there's like a Jeff Lemire or things like that. But like, it's a very collaborative process, and that's why I keep going back to it, I think.
But you started, and you mentioned it last night when in your I always call them Twitter talks, but that's what they should have called them. They should have called them Twitter talks. Yeah, but you're in the spaces, like, we're in a space, guys. No, but like, when you were in the spaces last night, and I loved it when you were like, I'm gonna get in MFA mode, and I was like, God, I get this motherfucker so good. But you know, like, because I'm an MFA dropout, he's an MFA graduate, but like we know like the workshop mentality and the weirdness and the competitive nature and the stress and the wrestling with burnout as you're trying to compete and complete these programs. But you know, like you come from a prose background, like you you have like you've got short stories, you've got a novel from Source Point, you've been published previously before you started in comic book storytelling, and you've kind of, I feel like you've liked this more because you keep doing it. I do also know that you like your Prezella, right? You like your
the mashup mediums.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, let's add pictures, but I want like to write a whole page, right?
Here's all of these words.
but I dig that too, and that's a new fun thing which I also, so I'm just now getting, I've been into manga. God, I always think I sound like a douche when I say it like that, but I guess that's how you're supposed to say it. Like, because like manga is like the Midwestern way, like let me add some of that Midwestern twang to manga. But no, I don't want to like do it. So like, I really dig manga, and I'm really getting into it, and I love it, and it's so like fast paced and wonderful, and there's so many different genres, and it's like, and it's like amazing. But they call them the light novels, where it's it's like a novella, but it's an illustrated novella, right? But that's kind of your jam right now. Like you're getting into that right now, right?
Yeah. I've been having. I mean, Through the Shadow of Titans is pretty much a larger version of a light novel. But light novels, I don't think really do sequentials. I think they're more like illustrated, like splash pages here and there. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been a lot of fun. I love writing both of them, and you know, you're sort of using different skill sets while you're doing that. I don't really know. Shifting gears is sometimes a little bit tricky, but once I'm in one or the other, I start to flow.
But it's kind of good too to like jostle yourself and like get you into a different, you know, like you don't want to get too comfy and start phoning shit in. And please don't think that none of you in this room right now have ever phoned anything in, from what I've read anyway.
That's a great point, because like if you start to feel like, you know, and that's why I kind of like to juggle multiple projects. So if I'm hitting a roadblock on one, I'm just gonna have to say, all right, I'm gonna back up, put that down for a second, and switch over to the next one. Focus on that while that's working in the background, and then, you know, you can sort of take a breather and then go back to it later.
I don't think you've taken a breather in like 8 months, bro.
No.
Like I've backed your fucking Kickstarter campaigns. You're like one to like back to back. Kay, we talked in the green room a little bit. Like you're like Kay mentioned she's got some other stuff in the pot too, and the waters are boiling, and she's making a couple different kinds of pastas, right? Watch. I'm a fat guy. I use food metaphors. It will make it happen that way. But does it ever get tricky, especially with Kickstarter? Because I know Eastin kind of got real last night and was kind of talking about like the stress with him and Jeremiah, right? This is why I don't like live shows, because I'll call someone the wrong name and you can't fix it because you're like, oh, I fucked up. Sorry. So, but yeah, so Eastin and Jeremiah were talking last night, and the stress was kind of hitting you, even though it's like proven that if you're over a certain percentage at a given point of a Kickstarter campaign, like you're going to fund, because you're going to get that surge at the end. You're going to do Blake's Buzz your last week. You know, these things are going to happen. You know, the butterflies are going to fly, and like people, you know, like I don't know what the butterfly thing was. Never mind. But you know, like, the people that are watching your campaign, you're going to get that 48-hour notice. You're going to get a little surge at the end, and that's usually going to push you over the edge. But it is still stressful. And like, what does that? I don't even know. Like, Eastin, you've done so many Kickstarter campaigns in the last few months, and they're working, they're happening, but like like I said, man, you got a baby, you got a wifey, you got a life, you got a garden, you got all this shit going on, right? You got these giant fucking blueberries that you got to do something with. But like, like what? How do you guys? All right, I want to. We're gonna go all around the room right now. I want to know, starting with Eastin, how we alleviate Kickstarter stress.
Like,
if it's illegal, it's okay. It may not be illegal in every state. You can say it's fine.
When I fall asleep, I usually don't think about it.
You don't have like Kickstarter nightmares?
No, I actually don't.
Oh, okay.
When I just remember like when I was a waiter and a bartender for a while, and I just remember being in the weeds all day on a double shift, and then having nightmares of being in the weeds. That hasn't really happened because I truly enjoy comics and creating and Kickstarter and all of that. I didn't truly enjoy waiting at Applebee's. But honestly, just like, taking the breathers and being in the garden and hanging out with Lila and Kim, those are like the moments. Cause like, I don't really, I need to take more time, like to play video games and watch the shows that I want. Like that's kind of been put on the back burner. But really just like having those moments and being outside for me is huge. And just really being in the garden is like
so hot outside though.
It is so hot outside.
And also, sorry to interrupt you, but you know what really grinds my gears about Eastin, everybody, is like, so when I first interviewed Eastin, like I thought he was like a nerd. I was like, oh, he's just like another MFA nerd. Like he's an English nerd. He's a comic nerd. And then after that, I noticed he's like, oh, he fucking like, he has this giant fucking mace and he looks all good with his fucking shirt off and sweaty and shit. And he's got these fucking like guns living on his shoulders. It's like, put the weapons away, bud. But he posts these workout videos, man. And I'm like, dude, I'm bitching about like, I'm like, man, I got to schedule these interviews and I got this day job. And like, I'm like, well, life's hard being comic book press. And Easton's like, I got a garden. I got fucking abs that I like work every day. And like, I'm going to keep these abs. I'm going to keep these guns. I'm going to swing this mace. And then like, I also like raise my daughter and I keep my wife happy. And I'm just like, fuck me, I guess. Like I just need to shut my goddamn mouth.
Oh man, honestly though, man, like the mace, I picked it up when COVID hit because I lost my day job. I was working in international education, and students just stopped coming to the country, and I was like, okay, what do I do now? So that's when I started like,
we don't want to go here anymore.
I'm gonna keep writing. I'm gonna keep making all these comics and books, but the stress was there from having lost a job. So finding the mace is just like I just like listen like old school like pop punk, like blast it and just swing it around. Like that makes me feel like way better after like a stressful day of trying to make a living with indie comics.
I feel like you're only in the physical aspect, like the bear. I see you as the bear. Sometimes instead of this like giant sword, though, it's this fucking like giant mace, and you're just like you like swinging around, and you're like, and you were posting like TikTok, you were like workout TikToks for a while too, and I was just like, you would like moderately inspire me, and then I would also be like, I'm just fucking fat, and I give up. I'm just gonna like sit down and read. Like fuck that. Like I'm like, man, I kind of want to swing that mace. My sister just started a garden. Like I really want to garden. I love to cook. I would love to do that.
Oh, you should, man. You would love it.
I feel like I would love it, but it's starting it, right? It's like, oh, let's do this, and then I'm like, but let's do it. It's like I'm so terribly lazy, and I have a mentally taxing day job that like just kind of like knocks my gumption out half the time. Anyways, this isn't about like me and my sad life. This is about Eastin and his glorious body. What? So that's what we're here to talk about, ladies. No, but it's just so okay. So you're, even though you are kind of like, well, you're not overstimulating yourself because you use some of these things that make other people be like, wow, that looks exhausting. Like you see it as an escape.
Yes.
to that helps you. Like Kay, what about you? Like as art, so like art, being an artist, and we're gonna talk to Kaytee and Sarah about this too. Like it's a whole different name of, like writing a scene and drawing a scene is I'll say it, it's different. It's a lot more intense. There's a lot more work. I don't, unless you're just like super fast and super efficient, but like, you know, some things get in the way, you get distracted, you know, you have to like pencil this out, and then you make changes, and then maybe you draw a page and don't like it and want to change a bunch of stuff, and that's hours of work. So like, what do you do to distract you from the stress of comic book making?
Oh, we're still working on it. There's a lot of stewing in it. Being honest,
Yeah.
there's a lot of staring at the ceiling and being like, yeah. But
I love how Eastin just took a drink while I asked that question. That's my stress reliever.
Oh yeah, I can't forget this.
I mean, I have 2 really, really high maintenance cats, which help. They're wonderful and adorable. And it's nice to just like log off and stop thinking about art and just find what they broke that day. Like, it's nice. I really like whenever I have the time, like some games, like just trying to refill the creative battery, honestly. 'Cause like when you're drawing for like 8 to 10 hours a day, it's like, okay, well, we need to recharge this, because it gets really exhausting and you start running out of well, for me anyway, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but like you start really running low on, like, there's only so much like I personally can draw after like several hours, and I just need to step away and find a way to not think about it.
Okay. So we should all right. So we got maces, we got gardens, we got cats. I don't have any of these things. I have 2 asshole dogs. That's all I got. But I'm not an artist. I'm if I do something, I'm gonna write it. I did no one's ever gonna have Blake Morgan draw their comic book. I guarantee you that. Sarah, what about you? What helps you? What helps you shrug off the stress and rejuvenate the batteries?
Usually, like, if I'm getting stressed about a job, I'll draw something for fun in between.
So when you get stressed about drawing, you draw, but you draw something else. So you like draw something goofy, you draw something funny.
Yeah, I play Dungeons and Dragons, so usually I draw those characters.
All right, I like that.
And that's fun.
So I really want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and I saw this meme a long time ago that was like, you think you have friends until you want to try playing Dungeons and Dragons. Because like my friends, like I love board games, and my friends don't. Like, so my best friend and my dad go fishing all the time. I don't like fishing. I think it's boring. I think it's weird. I don't get it. You know, and so my best friend hangs out with my dad all the time now, because my dad's retired. So like I work at this fucking like pseudo call center, like scheduling home inspections all day, and my best friend and my dad are just out fishing, having a fucking grand old time, smoking like a goddamn pound of weed, coming back like not even knowing where they're at anymore. And so but that's interesting. So Dungeons and Dragons, like I really want to play Dungeons and Dragons. It just seems neat. Sounds fun.
You have to meet your friends who play Dungeons and Dragons. You can't like have friends and ask them to play.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because so my sister has like my sister had this like really shitty ex-boyfriend, right? She's engaged to this new guy who's awesome, and I'm super happy for her. They just got engaged, but like even he kind of wants to play Dungeons and Dragons. So we've all been talking about maybe playing Dungeons and Dragons, but my sister's ex-boyfriend used to make her play it. So like my sister simultaneously wants to play Dungeons and Dragons with people that she likes, but is also traumatized from previous Dungeons and Dragons with her shitty ex-boyfriend. So like we're trying. We want to kind of make it happen, but like I don't know if we're ever gonna make it happen. But that's so all right. So you like playing D&D. What about like you do like tabletop RPGs, like the real intense board games too, or you were just more into D&D?
Just more D&D
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
What's your like go-to if you're making a character? What class are you?
I don't know if I have a go-to.
Me
class,
asking the hard questions tonight. I'm just
but
throwing everybody.
I think my favorite character to make is like emo boy.
The best kind.
Yeah.
Like
Long
sad
hair.
but wants to save the world.
Yeah, eyeliner. That's
I love it.
yeah.
Are you more magic wielder, or are you physical combatant?
Good mix of both.
All right. Well, that's cool. All right. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, like somebody fucking hit up Blake's Buzz. Let's get a fucking live D&D. Like I know the Burrito Boys did it. Comic Book Burrito. They do a live or an occasional live campaign of D&D. I think that'd be really fun. Maybe it would either be really fun or really just a giant clusterfuck of a live stream. But like, I think that would be like interesting, like a bunch of people that are passionate nerds that are interested and do like a live stream D&D campaign of like a whole bunch of noobs. And I don't know, like I feel like it'd be a huge mess, but it'd also be like kind of fun and also show people that like anybody can get into this, right? Like you don't have to be like super experienced or whatever, but that's cool. I really dig that. I like that you're so passionate about art. You can both use it as an escape, like when you're stressed out about it. I think that's obviously why you're such a fucking solid artist. And yeah, and I like that you're a D&D nerd too. I mean, you're the right kind of people for the fantasy genre. Like Sarah, you're what Ruination needs at this stressful time. You came in at the best time. Like this is the fates aligned this. The cards aligned. Your tarot layout like put you in the future for Ruination, and you're exactly where you need to be for both your career and the comic book, and I think that's super exciting. David says his family's tried to play D&D a few times, but none of us knew how to play. He was the dungeon master. That's what it sounds really intense to me, as being a dungeon master. Like new people can play D&D, but you have to have like one person that knows their shit to kind of be the master. But I also feel like a lot of dungeon masters will do that too. They kind of get off on that. They're like, yes, bring me into the clusterfuck. Like, roll 20 for I'm smarter than you, motherfucker. Like, I don't know. Anyway, but that's all right. Let's see. All right. So, All right. Kaytee, what about you? How do you relieve the Kickstarter deadline stress? Like, what drugs do you do? I'm just kidding. Like, what do you? I'm kidding. I don't know. How do you alleviate that hypertension?
I feel like I'm kind of in the same camp as Eastin. Like I get to spend my day coloring pictures. I don't find it that stressful. Like it's fun. I love it. I thought
you were gonna say you carry on the mace.
Yeah, I was like, I kind of feel like Eastin. I have this giant fucking hammer, and I smash things all day, and then I like flex and look good as fuck in the mirror.
I mean, maybe I'll look into it. But
yeah, check it out. Like it seems to work for him. That and gardening. I don't like it. One or the other. Well, so you're just happy in the field. That's cool.
Yeah. I've got little other like personal projects that I'll pick up if I'm feeling a little like too much with work stuff. But in general, my problem is like making time to step away, because I can get really hyper focused on what I'm doing.
You're like too involved.
Yeah.
You're too good.
So I've had to learn to get better about stopping at the end of the day and taking breaks. And I have a little dog who needs to go out regularly, so that helps.
for 15 minutes. You're like, all right, I'll let you out. That's cool. Well, that everybody has always said that. Like, I remember that in my MFA program when people were like, how do you get like, oh, like I got hung up, what do I do? And they're like, go for a walk. And I'm like, yeah, fuck you, it's hot outside. Like, or like I don't mind I made a joke today about like that new mentality of like go touch grass, bro. Like just get out there and touch some fucking grass. And I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna smoke it, man. Like no, but like the touch grass thing is a great idea until like it's 105 degrees outside, or like COVID's fucking in the air again this season, and like sometimes I don't want to go outside. Fucking people die outside. Everybody's got a goddamn gun. Fucking cops are weird. Everybody's fucking weird. Some crazy shit happens outside. You know how many people died in my house? 0. There's no.
What did Bilbo say? It's dangerous business walking out your front door.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're a nerd when you bust out Lord of the Rings. You know what? Okay, I want to throw this out there to everybody before I ask Ryan where he kills his stress. But like, none of you guys have had like a cool map. Like, where's the Tolkien-esque maps for your guys' fantasy campaigns?
We still want to.
Maybe that'll be our insight.
Well, I didn't see that as a stretch goal for volume 2, guys.
All right, that's going to be our 5-day to go stretch goal.
Yeah, give us a night to think about it. Then we're going to announce it. No, the only reason I said that is because I got the DC Black Label Last Gods, and I've had that hardcover sitting on the shelf for a while, and I finally read the first chapter. And it was great, and there's a lot of lore and text backgrounds. But the dust jacket, you take the dust jacket off the novel, and it unfolds into this gorgeous, like Tolkien-esque map. And I'm not telling you guys to do that because I know that you're like, great, Blake, this is Kickstarter, that costs fucking money, bud. Like all your little great ideas sound awesome, so you got to pay for it and print it. But like that is kind of like the go-to like fantasy you make this map of the world and you make that part real. Like even fucking paperback dances, like maps are cool, guys. Just make it happen. Just get them. I'm just kidding. No, I know you're all working hard enough. I don't want to give you extra work to do.
Just said they'll sponsor maps in all of our books.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
But it's funny. That's just like, that's the one like fantasy trope that none of you guys have like really made happen, which is interesting.
Actually, JL, who does Aeneid, The Rule of Nine, one of the other fantasy Kickstarter books, he does a lot of the maps with his. I've gotten that request before when I've asked people like, what stretch goals and stuff would you want to see? We don't do it in Ruination because one, that's just not my strength, and there would be a little spoilery if we did it, and also because in our story we hop worlds. Well, yeah,
you have like portals and shit, which would make a map a little harder.
Yeah, and the landscape does change for various reasons, so it would just be story wise, it would be awkward to do. But I'm skeptical that we'll do one, but you never know.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I brought it up. Fuck me, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm just so like last up, like Ryan, how do you alleviate the stress? Because I know we've both talked about day job hell, and we've both talked about random stressors in our lives, and just the weirdness of everything else. And you're a dad, you got a family, you got a Kickstarter, you got all this shit going on. Like, what do you do to help you step away and take a break?
The honest answer is I probably don't these days.
Guys are killing me here. Come on.
No, but I mean, typically it would be reading comics, tabletop gaming.
Okay.
We try really, really hard. We would love to actually do D&D. We end up doing Call of Cthulhu one-shots just because we haven't been able to commit to a campaign. But we're big tabletop gamers in our house. So that was our pre-COVID. Nice. Like we ran a tabletop group and all that stuff. So that was our kind of thing for a long time.
That's cool.
But that kind of that died with COVID and children.
Wow. Bring it down, Ryan. No, Chris, thank you. Christopher, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate you coming in, bud. Always always good to see Chris. He freaks me out, man, because his name's Chris Evans. I always think fucking Captain America's in the chat. He might as well be Captain America. He's good people. But no, that's all right. So I'm just gonna throw this out there, and you guys can talk to me when the next campaign goes live or whatever. But like, let's get hammered. Let's do a clusterfuck D&D campaign, like for the next fantasy Kickstarter down the line sometime, and like we could do like we could do like a live stream thing and like have people like tune in and like back the campaign and do shit live, and just all of us are just bumbling fucking idiots through D&D, and let's have like one person, like one dungeon master who like has to corral us all and be like, guys, this isn't how this works. Like, like
Probably not.
I think that would be kind of fun, but I'm a sadistic fucking weirdo, like who, like.
Oh no, that would be fun. I want to be.
That would make
I
you
don't
the perfect dungeon master.
corralling everyone.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound like fun to me. I would be one of the people needing to be corralled.
Yeah, I don't want to be the corraller. Like I want to be the fucking idiot bull in the field who's like wandering around snorting like, and I'm like waving my horns around and like some dude's like, dude, he's like, come back to the gate. Like I don't.
All right,
It's
so
about
Blake,
to rain. There's a tornado.
You're a minotaur already.
Yes.
We've already described. So we'll figure out what the rest of the characters are. But it sounds like you're going to be some kind of minotaur warrior in the field who just like howls at the moon.
Who likes to cook.
Yeah.
You're the farmer druid.
Hobbit druid.
farmer druid hobbit. I don't know. I think that'd be this isn't like a great idea either. Like I've seen other live streams do this. I'm just like trying to steal other people. Like, how do I get the views? This is what I'm trying to think of, guys. Like I love your guys' comics. I'm super excited to talk to you. But like at the end of the day, like I'm thinking about my metrics, baby. Like, great. I'm real glad your fucking Kickstarter got funded. But like who's gonna click on my website? No, I'm kidding. Like I'm here for you guys. I love it. But I just that's like the one element of nerding like I haven't got to do yet. Like I read fucking comic books, I fucking podcast, I live stream, I make food sometimes, and I play on Twitter all the time and listen to fucking metal music, and like the only other like nerdy part I'm missing is like, let's do this. Like let's roll a fucking 20-sided die. Let's fucking roll this thing for badass, and if it's over 7, let's make it happen. I don't even that whole deal of rolling dice. All I know is we roll dice. Everything else I said was wrong. Like roll 7. I don't think 7's a great number. I think you got to roll like, you got to roll like a 13 to 20 to like really make a move. But no. So anyways,
listen, Blake, when you play D&D, you want to roll a 1. Okay, it's very important that you hit that 1 every time.
Is it why?
He's tricking you.
It's not true.
Son of a bitch, Eastin! This whole time I've trusted you. Now you're playing games with my heart.
Well, because my class is the Gardener Deceiver. See? We're already playing right now.
I should have known. We didn't even make character sheets. Fuck. Like it's too much. Now no one's ever gonna come on my show again because they're like, this guy doesn't even know. Blake didn't even make a character sheet when he had all these fantasy people on. He's talking about rolling dice. No one ever rolled a goddamn dice on that 2-hour show. Anyways, oh wait, hold on. What's going? Yes, I listen to metal. I do listen to metal. Oh wait, and then we got. Can the campaign be called Battle for the Last Bottle of? Well, I'm drinking gin tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Easton's drinking bourbon, right? Or something.
Irish whiskey tonight, but I do like bourbon.
What are you drinking?
I was drinking. What was I drinking? Tealing tonight.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
you know what's funny is I started doing the like get lit and talk nerd shit, and I was like, ooh, it like rhymes, like that's like a good vibe. I'm the only one who's ever drunk on my show. No one ever drinks. Like I start pre-gaming at like 6:30, start like having drinks. Then by the time you guys come on, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling good. I don't care if I fuck up. That's you like, you know.
This is the
Like-
first time my team is seeing me. I didn't want them to think I was a drunk.
Oh no, it's good. It's no worries. Wait, you guys haven't like you. What do you mean, like the first time seeing you? Like you guys haven't like talked, like or
Not
you haven't...
like.
Yeah, this is actually the first time I've seen Kaytee as well live.
Wow.
We've been corresponding for over a year at this point now, but we've never like video zoomed or anything like that.
That's so cool. I'm bringing people together. Blake's Buzz is making shit real. No, that's funny because a friend of the show, Steve Urena, who does the Killer Sloth book Slowpokes, he worked with Misty Graves and Lane Lloyd, and we did a Christmas special, and we all talked for 3.5 hours, and it was so like my face hurt. I don't know if you guys have ever done mushrooms, but like when you're really like feeling good on mushrooms and everything's funny and you're laughing, your face starts to hurt and you can't help but smile, like because it's just like smiling. Like when you smile for like 6 hours straight, like your face, like the muscles in your face hurt, and like we're all like laughing and cracking up, and we had this like really great time. And none of them ever got to like talk simultaneously together. And so it was the first time like this creative group like made this comic together. They like all like came on and laughed and made jokes and got to talk and stuff, which is nuts. Like I was like, holy shit, how did this happen? And it happened again. Like that's just, my fucking show is so good. My show is so awesome. These I bring people on, like they make comic books together, but they don't even talk about it. They just like send emails and text and chat. Oh man, I need to make a comic book because I'm gonna piss my creatives off. I'm gonna be like, it's like 1:30. Like let's hop in a chat, guys. Like we need to talk. I'm awake, you're awake. Like let's talk this scene out right now. And you guys are gonna be like, fuck you, I'm never working with you again. I swear to God. No, that's awesome.
There's definitely teams that work that way, and I think that's just such a big thing, is figuring out like how best to work together. Like because I think I had that conversation with Kaytee at one point, like because I think I asked like, do you want to hop on a Zoom or Teams or whatever, and we were like, no, actually this works better for us.
It's just like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. It's just easier to think through things, and for me personally, because a lot of times I'm talking to people and reviewing stuff like while I'm in my day job. I distinctly remember being in like literally a business meeting and typing back to Julia and Kaytee like, no, we need to slice that guy's throat, not stab him. Like while I was reviewing sequential, like it was always easier for us to do things over Messenger.
Well, I mean, I think whatever you guys are comfortable with, I think is the great part. If you guys want to talk, if you guys want to chat it out, do that. If you guys want to text it out, do that. If you guys want to have like a fucking Discord and a fucking easy chat to like everybody can post stuff in, no matter what time of day it is, it's whatever is comfortable for you and your people. Yeah. And I think, which is funny because like this is what I remember, right? So like I'm 36. I'm starting to get old as fuck. Like I'm almost there. I'm almost old as fuck and ruined and dead, basically. I'm basically dust, and like but I remember like when I was younger, right? Like especially like talking to women, right? When I was like I used to be really good at remembering phone numbers. Now I can't because of smartphones. But like back before texting, like when I was in grade school, like we used to call our crushes and we would like talk on the phone, and you would like you would like tell your buddies, you're like, oh yeah, dude, I talked to Carrie last night for like 3 and we were talking till midnight, man. And people were like, you talked to a girl till midnight? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, oh, I'm the king. And then texting happened, right? And then people were like, I don't really want to talk on the phone anymore. We can just text. And I even got there. I was like, I'm kind of like, I would rather text than like talk to people. And now my day job, I talk on the phone all day. And I used to, when quarantine first happened, before I started my own podcast, people used to ask me to be on their podcast. And I used to tell them no, because I was like, dude, all I do is talk on the phone all day. I don't want to fucking talk to you for 2 hours after I get done with my day job. And then it's like guest guess what happened? Like now that's all I do now. Like I get off the day job and I talk to all you nerds and we talk about comic books. And so just funny how things change, and so yeah, so I think it's important to find how you're comfortable, talking to people and whatever, however you feel comfy, like. But it's weird how technology changes, right? So like, we like, oh, we have to talk on the phones. Oh, wait, now we can text. Oh, wait, now we have Discord. We can text, we can video, we can do anything. Oh, now we have Zoom and all these other things, and we can like video chat. And it's like, actually, no, leave me alone. Just text me. Like, and it's just, we keep going like back and forth, but it's whatever you feel comfy with, and whatever you end up making great comics. And all you guys are making great comics. So I guess you just keep doing what you're doing. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to throw a wrench in any of your gears and change anything. But I mean, you guys seem to know what's going on and how to make it happen.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
How do you guys? We kind of talked about how to alleviate the Kickstarter stress. I want to know what kind of Kickstarter people are you all? Do you all? Let's start with Sarah. Are you Sarah? Do you? Because you're not on much social media. It seems like you're a fucking enigma, kind of. You're like I hide in the backgrounds and draw all the great pictures, and you can't find me anywhere. But like. When you guys do a Kickstarter, because there seems to be a couple different kinds of Kickstarter people. There's people that will like wake up at 3 a.m. and be like, oh no, we lost 3 backers, and like text your cohorts and be like, it's 3:43 a.m. We lost 2 backers. What are we gonna do? And then there's other people that are like, no, I told myself I wouldn't look at the Kickstarter for 2 days. And so like Sarah, what are you like? Are you a number cruncher? Or are you just like, you know what? I'm going to fucking draw really great pictures and you motherfuckers deal with that. I'm too busy.
Yeah, for me, I like to check in. I don't think I was too worried about this one. So I like checked in. I think it got funded the first day. So
yeah, you guys funded real fucking quick.
I stopped checking it like every day.
See, I'm kind of like, I would be scared of like getting to the fund, but I think like once we broke, like I almost feel like I would check more because I would be like my ego, right? Like I try to pretend like I don't have an annoying ego, but like, simultaneously I'd be like, ooh, we're 1,000 over goal. Ooh, we're 1,500 over goal. Oh, we're 2,000 over goal. Like I would be like, oh my God, guys, we're making so much money. I would be like that annoying texting person. But so you kind of like, look, how are you like speaking, because everybody else is kind of on social media. So like, how do you live this like social media less life? Like, because it sounds like really intriguing and wonderful, but like, oh, I would miss it. As aggravating as like Twitter and shit makes me, like I also like kind of get off on it sometimes, like.
Yeah, I guess I just got off of it as like a survival thing because I was spending so much time just like on Instagram. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's for my job. I upload stuff there, but then it was like 3 hours later. So
yeah. And then you watch like one reel and then it's like 2:30 in the morning. You're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah. So
I swear I only watched like 3 dog videos, but it was like 3,000.
But I think I need to try and get back on at some point to like get a following and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get kind of both sides. I mean, a lot of there's some like giant icons in our field, right? That like don't have to have followings because they can just like put something out and people are going to share it. People are going to talk about it. But the same is true with the Kickstarter group too. Like once you gain that following, people are going to pay attention to you, whether you want them to or not. But yeah, like it just, I'm just kind of jealous because like Twitter aggravates the fuck out of me sometimes, but like I really don't. Just like tonight, like I let people know that we're going live. I let people know that this show's happening every Wednesday. I let people know that my podcast release every Sunday. when I write a review, like I do Substack reviews now. So I have like a Substack subscription audience. They don't pay for it, but you know, they get the emails. But then I also like tweet that out. And so it's crazy to me to like imagine a social media less life. And it's like intoxicating and sexy thinking about it, but also it's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, you know, like I would love for like the world to know who Blake Morgan is and Blake's Buzz and be like, yeah, we're there every Wednesday night. He doesn't need to talk, but I need, like, you know, and which and again, like, kudos to you, like, because you like got this new job and you're fucking slaying it on this new comic, and you don't have to like tweet out about it and remind everybody about it, which is, you're kind of a fucking superstar. I know, like, I'll go ahead and say that, like, Sarah, you're kind of killing it. But yeah, if like you that's interesting to me, because I mean everybody else is on social media and kind of uses that as a means to, you know, advertise basically. And in this field, not just indie comics, but indie crowdfunding, it's mandatory. Like, you know, you guys got to come talk to weirdos like me for 2 hours to get the word out for your book, right? And so, but yeah, I wish you were on Instagram, because I would follow you, because I dig your art. You know, I'd click that heart, Sarah. I'd click it several times a day if you were there. I'm just saying. But what about the rest of you? Like, how do you balance your brand and your self-promotion? Like, I kind of mentioned this last night with Eastin in their Spaces chat. I talked about the newsletter element, right, which is gaining more popularity. But like, you know, Ryan, you're not as Ryan used to be more quiet. He's starting to be a little more loud and reminding people of things going on. But like, Ryan, you don't have a newsletter, do you? I
have an email list just for former Kickstarter backers, and I send emails out sparingly. It probably goes to most people's, you know, junk boxes, but I use it as like another way to communicate with people beyond Kickstarter updates. But I mean, I'm not great with social media. I kind of accept that, and I tried to not just get worked up about the first like 2 campaigns. I was super anxious about it and was constantly trying to post on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and was spending money on advertising and things like that. And I think once the 3rd Kickstarter hit, probably not coincidental, that was like right after my son was born, I said, it's just too much. And I rarely post Instagram now. I rarely post to Facebook. I kind of focus on Twitter half-heartedly. But I mean, I've come to accept that, like, you can go all out. And, you know, I'd rather focus on the quality of the backers that we bring in. And we've gotten, you know, we may not have.
Is that why you made friends with me? Am I a quality backer?
But
don't lie. It's okay. You can tell the truth.
No, but no, you are a great example of one, because you are super engaged in our story. You talk about it, and you know, there are a lot of people who back books and never read them. That's just the reality of it.
I do that too, though. By the way,
no, and I do as well. But like, you know, I want people who are going to stick with us, and those are the people that once you find them, you don't have to work as hard to keep reminding them. A lot of times when you're just constantly posting on Twitter, you're posting to the same, you know, 100 people who actually see your posts. And it's, you know, I think my time was always better spent on just making a higher quality book. So I tried to do what I can, and not stress out about trying to go beyond that. And I think our numbers have kind of not plateaued, but they're not growing as much as they were before. And I've gotten comfortable with that, because we get a lot more comments on the Kickstarter now. We get a lot more feedback from people, and we get better feedback from people. So I feel like we're still doing the right stuff, even if our audience isn't, as big as some other campaigns.
Okay. Well, Eastin had to bounce out, guys, because as we mentioned, he is a father of a tiny child, and he has things to do in the morning. I'm just gonna. We haven't brought this up yet, so I just want to bring this up real quick. The A.Guardian Volume 1 and 2 campaign. If you have missed Volume 1, how the fuck did you manage that? Because it's so good, and so many of us talked about it. But you can get Volume 1 and Volume 2. You can get both. There's some this is the kind of art you're getting into. Like, look at this. This is all gorgeous. It's so freaking. Kay is a machine. I don't know how she does it. Look at this shit. Like, it's all. Oh my god, Delith is like that scene. I don't want to spoil Volume 1 for people that haven't got to see it, but there's so many moving parts, and if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, I can only say that it's very similar to Game of Thrones, that didn't shit the bed in the last 2 seasons. It stays there and makes you it makes sense. Things don't just change and drastically maneuver themselves to make some weird kind of storytelling mechanic, like how we turn into I'm going to free the slaves to I'm going to set a city on fire. We're not here to talk about that though. But this comic is really amazing, and it's full of emotion. It's full of great action. It's full of just jaw-dropping, insane art, and I'm so excited for Volume 2. And I'm here for it, and I'm here to back it. And Eastin is a great writer. I've mentioned it before, just the way Kay draws is the details, the colors, the emotions, look how happy this fucking dog is. This is me. This is me backing the Volume 2 Kickstarter. I am this animal right here. I'm just wagging my tail a million miles an hour, and I'm so excited. And I can't recommend this enough. Volume 1 was amazing, and it blew me away, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait for Volume 2. The winged ones are coming. Oh, Eastin, I said you were leaving, and you're back now.
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry. My computer was dying as well, but I did have to go back upstairs. I didn't want to just Irish goodbye, but I did want to say I do have to go. But thank you so much, dude, for having me on again. As always, it's always a pleasure chatting with you. Great to meet you guys, and
well, hey, Eastin, real quick before you go, where do we listeners where's the best place to follow you online and keep track of you?
Probably Twitter. I'm probably the most active on at Eastin DeVerna, just my name, or Instagram, which is at EPD85, which is some comics writing stuff, but also garden and family stuff. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's got a green thumb and a bunch of badass comics, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I know. That's all I know about this enigma named Eastin DeVerna.
Right.
Man, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming back on my show, and I'll always be here for anything you do, man. You impress the shit out of me, and you're just a great dude and a great writer, and I'm really glad I got to know you.
Dude, likewise.
All this weirdness.
I'm stoked for what you have coming up too.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's maybe that's all in the air. It's gas rises.
Okay. Well, regardless, you're a great writer as well, and and I really appreciate all you do for your support and what you're doing for the indie comic scene. It does not go unnoticed or unappreciated. So thank you very much, man.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, so if you guys don't back A.Guardian, I'm going to meet you in a back alley. I'm not going to fight you or beat you up. I'm just going to give you a real big, heavy mom level guilt trip about it. I'm just going to fucking lay into you about all the bad decisions you're making and why you didn't back this comic. I got opinions, and you're going to hear them.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, Eastin. Thank you so much. All right, I know we're coming up on 2 hours, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go through. I want everybody to tell us where to find you at online, except Sarah, because she is a ghost on the internet, and no one knows where
And
to
in
find
real
her.
life.
But no, Sarah, I don't want to leave you out. Like everybody, write Sarah Fletcher's name down because she's drawn some fucking comics that like her. This is a start of something big. I feel like we're gonna see your name on numerous covers, and if we don't, I question the indie community because more people like. I would love to see you do some variants. I would love to see you do more interior work. Like you're very impressive. You're very humble about it too. Like I would be so annoying if I was just telling you. Like, I was just like, I'd be like, yeah. No, I don't even know what I would say. I would just be like, yeah, you should put me on your comic or you're stupid. Like, I don't know, that would be my business card. Like, hire me or you're an idiot. Like, but no, like, Sarah, like, I'm so excited that you and Ryan and Kaytee and everybody found each other. I already love this comic and I was already impressed with it, and I think you're making it better. I'll just come out and say that. I know, like, I'll be like a cheesy little weirdo and say that the new pages of issue 5 fucking blew me away, and I'm so excited for issue 6. I'm so excited for Elizabeth's one shot. I'm so excited for Ryan to continue his sci-fi epic. Sarah, what I don't want to be a dick and like tease you for not being on social media, but like, is there anything you want to shout out or anything that you want to like give an announcement to or anything for listeners?
Not at the moment, but thank
Man,
you.
you are just the easy, like, Sarah, you come on Blake's Buzz anytime. You are the most chill, awesome guest that you're just like you just like make me as a host feel comfortable. Like, I just appreciate that. No, if you ever do go back on Instagram, I know a lot of people would be happy to see you there and peep some sketches and stuff like that. And then I always do that joke where when artists like draw a picture and like speed it up, I can't stop myself from like posting a comment that's like, wow, you draw so fast. And I do that every time. And every time I do it, like after I hit send, I'm like, God, you're a douchebag. And I'm like, I can't help myself. Like I have to. But no, that's your art's super impressive. You seem like a really awesome person, and I'm excited to see. I really hope I hope more people take advantage of your style and your technique, because you make comics cool, and I think comics needs more of that. And I'm sure you wouldn't get mad about people paying you money for artwork, because that's the kind of the name of the game, right? You're like please pay me to draw these fucking pictures, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, so Sarah Fletcher, previous backers of Ruination, have no fear. Your favorite comic book is in the best of hands. We still got great writing, still have fucking amazing coloring, and the art looks wonderful. And like, so yeah, make sure you get issue 5 and 6. If you haven't backed it yet, you can get all 6 issues in one campaign. In a few months, you can get a pile of amazing fantasy comics and just read that at your leisure and just take it in and go on this amazing journey that Ryan, Sarah, and Kaytee have curated. You guys are doing it, and I'm real happy about that. And next up, before I get too cheesy, I got to bring myself in, because I'll get too I always get too cheesy at the end of the night. So I get really romantic about everything and overly emotional. Ryan, you're a really good dude. I want, like, regardless of how good of a writer you are, which is very, and regardless of how many great ideas you have for comic books, which is many, like I said, you have helped my family out in more ways than I can mention. And I'm trying, oh man, like I'm tearing up. Like I very much appreciate you and getting to know you, and I love your comic book so much. And like, I'm just really glad the internet introduced us, and anyway, I'm going to sound like an idiot if I keep but I think you're a great writer. I think you have so many great stories to tell. I think we're on the cusp of it. Like, I don't even think we've seen, I feel like you got stuff in your chest that we're not even prepared for. And I am so excited to watch your career blossom. I meant what I said earlier in regards to all of you. Like, it shocks me that all of you aren't under a publisher. Like, it both irritates me and infatuates me that you guys go into crowdfunding, because it's crazy that you guys haven't been picked up and given a contract. You're all so fucking talented. But Ryan, again, I love your storytelling. I love you as a person. You're so incredibly kind, and in the world right now, we need more kindness. Blah, 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 blah. Where's a good place to find you at, and where do we keep track of you online, sir?
Well, first of all, feelings mutual. I appreciate that. But so Twitter at DJARBY. Also, Curious P Comics on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter is our publisher name. So usually we're releasing books on Kickstarter, so that's where you can find us. And we've got our campaign ending in a week currently, and then we'll have some follow up maybe later this year, depending on how productive I am.
You guys think you're gonna do a trade? You think you're gonna do a collection, or are you gonna stick with the singles?
No, I'll definitely do a trade for volume 1, and then I was gonna pull Kickstarter backers just to see like what they preferred, if they would rather wait just for volume 2 to come as a trade, or if they like the 2 to 3 issues at a time thing. It's so hard to fund, especially because like I self-fund the production and then just do the Kickstarter for printing, and it's just so hard to do a full trade at once. But I'm curious to see what people prefer. But we'll probably do a Kickstarter for a trade at some point, and then I think we're working on Nicola's editing the outline for volume 2 and beyond right now, and then like you alluded to, we also have the follow up to the Curiosities from Another World that I worked on with Kaytee is in the pipeline.
Exciting. I mean, I know you didn't ask me, but I want a hardcover slipcase. I want some spot gloss, and I want like a chromium cover, like a nice pop, like foil variant. Just make that happen at an affordable price. I want to pay $30 for an all metal trade and a titanium slipcase.
I mean,
and when you open the book, if it could make a song, if it could play a song when you open the book,
that'd be have cool a soundtrack too. Start.
Yeah.
No, it's funny, like because Kevin does a lot of that stuff on Tart with all the stuff that covers. And we use the same printer. I need to ask them how they coordinate all that stuff sometime. But I don't know. The basic process for me and just doing like the 3 variant covers has been enough for me. I think someday we'll get more creative with some of the other stuff that other people do, but it's such a process. But I can't even imagine. Like, I want to imagine it, and I also don't want to imagine it. Like, I probably sometimes I want to be you guys, and then sometimes like, man, I'm really glad I just get to be the fucking loudmouth who talks to you about it. Yeah, well, I mean, the hard part for me is that I'm not an artist, and I don't have the bandwidth to pick up things very easily. So like, I've learned basic Photoshop in the time that I've been doing this, and I can do some very basic things. And I know enough to say, like, Sarah, this is the format that I need it in. But there's a lot of times that I have to ask, like, the team to help me with some really stupid stuff that I should know how to do by now. So it's like it's just one of those things. Like, if you want to do this, you want to make the time to invest in learning some of the production type stuff that I haven't been able to do. But I'm envious of the people who get some of those stuff at the margin where they can just spruce up their books or add some nice bonuses to them. It's really cool what some people have come up with.
Well, I get that that's cool, but you know what the best bonus about Ruination is it's just fucking good. It's just real fucking good, man. And whatever you do in the future, whether it's a trade collection or whether it's 2 issues at a time, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where you guys take it, and I'm gonna pay for it. I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and back it. Wrapping up, Kaytee, where's a good place to find you at online and keep track of all the fun stuff you're doing?
I am only on Twitter, begrudgingly. Because I felt bad because Ryan was doing all the heavy lifting with social media. So I was like, I'm going to try. And I do try. I'm getting better about it. I retweet a lot of stuff.
That's cool. Hey, retweet, quote tweet. Like that's all I do. I mean, like I run my mouth and gush about awesome comics. I have you guys on my live stream and I kiss like just enough ass where it's not uncomfortable. But you guys are like excited. You're like, wow, this guy really likes my stuff, but he's not being weird about it. You know, and like that's what I do. And then like, you know, and then I retweet stuff and say I back it. But I mean, you don't have to get crazy. You know, you don't have to do like 5 interviews a day. You don't have to be David Pepose, but I mean, like also, you know, David Pepose like works for Marvel now. So he kind of, if you do 40 interviews in a month, maybe Marvel will hire you. That's kind of what David Pepose taught the Kickstarter campaign. But you know, you don't have to get too crazy into it. I think it helps to have a little bit of an outlet. And also like you're good at what you do. Like it helps to have, we want to be your fan, Kaytee. We want to follow you. We want to like tell you you're fucking great colorist. Tell you you're great. You're great at you're an awesome art curator. You're great to have on a crowdfunding campaign. It sounds like, you know, you work well with your team and you're excited to make fantasy comics. And that's, I think that's right. Like, I mean, I feel like that's good enough. I feel like you're doing it, Kaytee.
Fair enough. Thank you.
But no, I love your colors. I was not bullshitting you when I said some of your pages are very Jen Bartel-esque. You have a wealth of talent within you, and you have a great palette to bring out really great moments of the scenes in the comic. And like, I hope other people reach out to you for Kickstarter campaigns, because you know it sounds like you would be, you're a wealth of knowledge and a great you're great to have on a campaign. And I hope more people know that. Or maybe I don't want people to know that. Maybe Ryan wants to keep you for himself. Like maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. I don't know. But I just like Kaytee, like you're one of the reasons Ruination is great. All of you. And I was super stoked again, like really excited to talk to all you guys, because I'm really pumped about your comic and I love it. And all you guys are so talented, and every fucking panel blows my goddamn mind. And on that note, Kay, you last but definitely not least, Kay is such a, I hate saying this, but I love saying this. You're such a good drawer. Even though like it sounds like I'm in fucking 2nd grade and like the teacher's hanging our picture up like on the tack board, and I'm like, Kay's a good drawer. And she's like, yes, Blake, she is. Here's a gold star. Kay, you're fucking really talented. And I love every page that you do. And I love A.Guardian. And I love that you and Eastin have a really cool relationship that allows you both to tell this really crazy story. I'm really like both excited and terrified of the Winged Ones and the trauma that Volume 2 is going to bring, because I feel like it's not going to be happy. Volume 1 wasn't happy necessarily. It had some good moments, but like you guys are like you fucking put our emotions through the ringer, and at the end of volume 1, like I was reminded of like, wow, this is like the volume 2 is gonna be fucking intense, and I'm really excited to see what you bring to the table. Me personally, anything I ever see your name on, I will pay for. I'll back it. I'll God forbid would fucking love to buy it at a comic book shop, to see your name on a shelf somewhere. I think you deserve it. But you got a fan out of me, and you're so humble and kind and just excited about indie comics and cats and other cool stuff. And I just think you're a cool person. And so, yeah, long story short, where do we keep track of you and any of your future cool stuff you got coming out?
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate all of it, and I appreciate how it's really nice to come on and see like all of the nice things that you say, and you're very high energy and sweet, and it's really appreciated. Thank you.
No problem. It's cocaine. No, I'm kidding.
I'm
I'm kidding.
You can find me at Hijacked K on Twitter. If you want I also have an alter ego, I guess. I have an Etsy shop under Oni Sugar where I sell lots of cute stickers and prints and whatnot.
Ooh, I was about to say, I was like, do you have stickers? Like, I was like, I love fucking stickers. Oh, shit. Oh, I get paid on Friday. We may have to make a dip over there. Well, anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Yeah, A.Guardian, we still have 6 days to go. We have a little bit left before we're fully funded. Check us out. Volume 2 is going to be crazy. You're going to find out what's in the tomb. It's been a long-kept secret, and shit's going to hit the fan the moment you find out. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it.
Nice. I'm excited. It has been it's been a real long fucking wait, actually. It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a good minute. It's been a good long minute, and I'm excited to get back in there. All of you, I really hope all of you know, like from the bottom of my heart, you are all so fucking talented. And I could finally say this now that Easton's gone. I'm kidding. He is also so fucking talented. But like the things you all are doing for the fantasy genre and for indie comic books is so impressive. Ryan is going issue by issue. He's putting out 6 issues plus a one shot. That's hard to do on Kickstarter. Kay and Eastin they're going on a second volume, which is each one's about 3.5, 4 issues, right? And so we're looking at about eight issues released in 2 trades.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. You have to make, first of all, you have to make all that, right? You have to do 4 fucking issues and release this trade. And now you're coming back. Luckily you have an audience behind you now, but just know that like I see the hard work you all are doing, and I really, really appreciate it. And then also just as a consumer, like I can't fucking get enough of what you all are doing. And I'm so excited for future stories, for issue 6 and the one shot of Ruination, for volume 2 of A.Guardian. I'm just ecstatic, and it's a good time to be alive. It's hot comic summer, baby. And all of you got like, you're all working so hard and you're all so talented. Anything Blake's Buzz can ever do for any of you for future projects. You ever need a press release, you ever need an interview, if you're ever just fucking bored, want to hop on a Wednesday night, if you launch a fucking web store, you want people to buy your print, let me know. Like I will shout your names from the rooftops, because all of you, like, you're just, it boggles my mind, the things that you can make happen on a comic book page, whether it's words, colors, or art. And I'm really mean that from the bottom of my heart. You're all so freaking talented. Like it shocks me that you guys put up with me for 2 hours. I am so appreciative of all of you. Everybody who's listening or will listen to this later, back Ruination. I feel like all I ever do is talk about Ruination. And I feel like not enough people listen. And the same with A.Guardian. Like, back, you can get both volumes. Volume 1 is beautiful. Like I initially I read it digitally when I wrote the review. This recent time, I actually got to open the trade that I got from the Kickstarter campaign, and the cover feels nice. The pages feel nice. The colors look great. All of these comics are beautifully printed. If you decide to pay the extra money for physical copies, if you want to go digital, that's great. You can still get the fucking story. It'll still treat you great. But like, please listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. If you like fantasy, this is some of the best fantasy comics right now via Kickstarter or direct market that you can get. A.Guardian and Ruination. I like, no cap. I'll die on this hill. This is some of the best fantasy that you can get right now in any comic books. And if you don't like fantasy, then back these comics and let them change your mind. Right? All right, everybody. I'm gonna play the outro. It was so wonderful getting to talk to all of you. I really love all your comic books. They blow my mind. The art, the stories, the dialogue, the warmness, and both the warmness and the chillness of the strong emotional moments, and the coldness of the violence in both these narratives. Like, you guys play that game well, and you work with your fellow creatives so well. And like, if anybody ever says that they don't want to back your comic, you fucking send them over to me and I'm going to set them straight. That's all I got to say. Like, all of you, like, again, thank you and best of luck to everything you do. You all deserve more than what you're getting right now. Like, again, I said this earlier. It's crazy that a publisher isn't on either of these books. It boggles my. If I had a press, like, I would give that money to you guys. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, I'll keep gushing. I'll keep rambling. I don't know how to shut up. All of you, Sarah, Ryan, Kay, Kaytee, Eastin is already gone. Thank you. Thank you for coming on my show. Thank you for making wonderful comics that blow my mind. Thank you for making the fantasy genre alive and well and glimmering and shimmering and wonderful. And like, you're all doing that. And I hope you go to bed knowing that people see that, people notice it, and people are paying attention to you, because they are, and you all deserve it, and you're working hard. Anyways, I'm sorry, I get cheesy, I get worked up. Everybody, thank you so much. Listeners, thank you for hanging out in the chat. People, thank you for subscribing to me. Thank you for listening to Blake's Buzz. Thank you for listening to Blake's Buzz Live. Thank you for I just hit 3,500 on Twitter. That's nuts. Like, thank you for following me. Thank you for giving me the chance to talk about comics. Thank you for listening to me ramble. That's all I do. I ramble, and you guys put up with me, and I appreciate it. And it boggles my mind. And this was so cool, because I love both. I love A.Guardian and I love Ruination, and I want nothing more than to watch you all succeed. And that's it. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to play the outro. That's it.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you so
Blake.
much.
It's Blake's Buzz Live.